President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! No! I refuse! I'm sick of it!
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
The moment Colin Jost looked straight into the Saturday Night Live camera and made fun of Meghan Markle, something big changed. This wasn't just another joke. This felt like a final verdict. To really see how Meghan and Harry went from bold royals to Hollywood's favorite punchline, we need to look at 3 things. The SNL roast that broke their image, the nonstop jokes that followed from all over Hollywood, and the most shocking part of all strange things they said themselves. One moment in particular stands out, a weird and awkward moment during Prince Harry's interview on The Colbert Show. It says more than any joke ever could. And yes, we'll get there. But first we have to start with the roast that tore it all down. It began on Saturday Night Live when Weekend Update anchor Colin Jost kicked it off. He used a basic news story about trade deals and turned it into a hard hit, questioning if Meghan and Harry even have any real value left.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
The studio audience went crazy. It was a real, honest reaction. But Colin Jost's joke wasn't just about Meghan and Harry losing popularity, it hit harder than that. He was questioning if their whole life after leaving the royal family even makes sense. So when the segment moved on to a well-known billionaire doing weird things, Jost used that moment to make an even bigger and more embarrassing comparison.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why isn't he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
The comparison was brutal. It basically said their so-called fairy tale romance was really just a messy career mistake. And this kind of joke isn't new for Saturday Night Live. The show has been making fun of Meghan and Harry's story for years. In fact, Colin Jost's co-anchor, Michael Che, said something even harsher way back when the couple first got married.
Earlier today, Suits actress Meghan Markle married some unemployed dude who still lives with his grandma.
This joke about Harry being an unemployed dude became famous because it totally wrecked the royal fairy tale image they were trying to sell. And it's clear SNL never let that go. So when news broke that a Suits spin-off might be happening, the show jumped at the chance to turn Meghan's big comeback into yet another harsh joke, this time aimed right at her husband.
It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
The laughter was brutal, and the message was loud and clear as SNL wasn't pulling any punches, but they were just one piece of a much bigger wave of comedy aimed at Meghan and Harry soon. It felt like every late-night host was taking shots at them. The first big target? Their infamous multi-million-dollar Netflix deal. It was the perfect setup for a joke. And on the huge stage of the Golden Globes, host Joe Coy delivered the punchline straight to the faces of Hollywood's biggest stars.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
That joke, told in a room full of people who actually have to create real content for their deals, hit especially hard. It perfectly captured the growing belief that Harry and Meghan took the money but didn't do the work. The idea that they got paid for doing nothing quickly became an ongoing joke across Hollywood. On The Daily Show, Trevor Noah made it even more personal, joking about what Meghan herself must have been thinking.
This is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family. She looked at Harry and she's like, you need to get a job.
But the jokes soon shifted from their money to something much more sensitive, the core of their whole story. Making fun of their work ethic was one thing, but now comedians were questioning whether they were ever real victims at all. That took things to a whole new level. Hosts like Jimmy Kimmel started openly calling out their reasons for leaving the UK, pointing out how oddly funny and hypocritical their escape plan really looked.
Racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which things were bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism.
He made a good point, and he wasn't done yet. Kimmel zoomed in on how ridiculous it was that the royal family, of all people, were suddenly acting concerned about genetics. The joke hit hard because it highlighted just how strange and backwards that part of Meghan and Harry's story really sounded.
They should hope that the kid looks more like Meghan than Harry. No offense, but Harry kind of looks like the guy who played Screech, may he rest in peace.
With their most serious claims now being openly mocked on national TV, the criticism only grew and got more personal. And honestly, while the things these comedians made fun of were definitely weird, there's still nothing compared to that. Strange Colbert clip I mentioned earlier? Yes, we're almost there. But first, the comedians started aiming at Meghan and Harry's efforts to build their own brand, which many people saw as an easy thing to joke about. Even their sweet nicknames didn't escape the joke. Stephen Colbert turned them into punchlines too.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Meghan's new Netflix cooking show quickly added fuel to the fire. Reports said she wasn't really cooking at all, just showing off fancy store-bought food as if she made it. This idea that her brand was all looks and no real content gave Jimmy Fallon the perfect chance to make fun of the whole thing.
Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
There's another bag.
And that confuses people.
This marked a big change. It wasn't just comedians making jokes anymore. The feeling had spread so much across Hollywood that even other actors started talking about it. Meghan's presence was now being seen, if jokingly as something that quietly annoyed the public.
Meghan Markle has ruined your workout regime. Is this true? If so, how?
Yes, she has.
Host James Corden looked honestly confused and asked Meghan to explain. The reason she gave was super simple and in the odd world of celebrities. It might be a real issue, but to everyone else watching, it just sounded completely ridiculous.
She went to a yoga place, which is my yoga place. But now that she went there, everyone's going to want to go there.
When other celebrities are going on national TV to complain that you're taking up too much space in their yoga class, it's clear you've completely lost control of the story. But those light jokes on late-night shows were nothing compared to the brutal world of stand-up comedy. With no filters or censors, comedians like Ricky Gervais went straight for the classic Target Royal entitlement.
Once at a gig, the back was Harry and William, Madonna and Paul McCartney. Not one of them paid.
That attitude of acting like they're above everyone else is a big reason why the public's so frustrated. While Ricky Gervais took shots at their royal entitlement, other comedians like John Mulaney didn't even bother with deep social commentary. He went straight for the kill, throwing out a simple, direct insult aimed right at Harry's intelligence and the huge decisions that changed his life.
You dumb ginger. You leave your title because you don't like your 94-year-old grandma? That's the definition of something you wait out.
Melani's joke was quick and sharp, but for other comedians, the Sussexes became a full-on obsession. No one has been more ruthless than Tim Dillon, who went all in mocking Meghan, not just as fake, but as someone truly unbearable and hard to watch.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white.
For Dillon, this wasn't just about Meghan's image in public. His jokes turned into a harsh attack on her intelligence. He made it sound like that was her main trait, using it as the center of his criticism.
You'd be stunned at how dumb she was. Not because she's black, because she's an actress who was on the show Suits.
Dillon then tied that idea straight to Meghan's business efforts. He saw her new lifestyle brand not as something real or meaningful, but as a clear example of a stuck-up celebrity talking down to everyone else.
She thinks we're all animals and that she's helping us.
Yeah.
With jam and honey.
While Dillon's attack was full of raw anger, comedy legend Chris Rock took a more careful and maybe even more powerful approach. His views on race carry serious weight, so when he spoke, people paid attention. He began by seeming to agree with Meghan and Harry's main point about the royal family.
I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
But then, he totally flipped the script and ripped apart Meghan's main complaint, leaving the audience stunned. It was unexpected and it hit hard.
They wanted to know how brown the baby was going to be.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
That's not racist. Even black people want to know how brown the baby gonna be.
That 1-2 punch was brutal. And then came British comedian Simon Brodkin, who seemed to sum up exactly how the public felt, starting curious, ending fed up. He said that after watching their side of the story in the Netflix documentary, that was the moment he completely turned against them.
Before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs, but now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them.
It was the small, overly self-important details in their story that really got to him, especially things like their fake-sounding corporate-style nicknames. To him, it all felt completely forced and not real at all.
Then they start calling each other H and M, and I just thought, oh, do f*** off.
He was also confused by how they acted like normal royal traditions, like doing a curtsy word, somehow deeply traumatic. To most people, that just came off as totally out of touch with reality.
Harry says, how do you explain to someone who just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy? Especially to an American. Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the f***ing queen.
And then there was Harry's own awkward way of saying things in his book, which gave comedians like Brodkin even more material to mock. It made Harry come across as both out of touch and kind of ridiculous.
Let me quote you here. Me and M pulled the pin on a fun grenade. I actually started rooting for Prince Andrew.
But for Brodkin and a lot of other people, the final straw was hearing two multimillionaires complain about having to pay for their own security. That one comment completely wiped out any leftover sympathy the public still had for them.
Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
The stand-up world had spoken, guilty on all counts. But the public mockery didn't end there. The final and maybe most embarrassing stage came next. When the comedians were done, the cartoonists took over. And no show hit harder than South Park.
You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Where?
The show gave them a whole episode called The Worldwide Privacy Tour, and it started by ruthlessly mocking Harry's memoir. But then it quickly shifted to highlight the biggest contradiction of all, a man who says he hates journalists, deciding to become one himself.
Because your family like stupid and then so are like journalists? So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
From there, the show's creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, took the attack even further. The cartoon interviewer turned to Meghan and directly called out what many people were thinking, that she seemed to want the fame she always claimed to hate.
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?
The show shows the prince as totally clueless about the hypocrisy. He jumps in to defend his Instagram-obsessed wife, but instead of helping, it just makes him look even more foolish.
What are you suggesting? Some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy.
It all leads up to the episode's most famous and brutal joke, Harry and Meghan flying around the world on a private jet, shouting into megaphones, "We want privacy." It was a perfect, over-the-top way to show how the public really sees them.
We are leaving! We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people! Come on, wife! We want privacy!
The punchline to their whole worldwide privacy tour comes when they finally find a new home, a totally normal and quiet place. But instead of being happy, they just look confused. It drives home the point that maybe it was never about privacy at all. Maybe what they really wanted was attention.
It's so quiet and empty here. If we moved her, then people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal.
While South Park spent an entire episode calling out their hypocrisy, other animated shows like Family Guy took a quicker, harsher approach, throwing in fast, brutal punchlines that usually targeted Meghan and Harry's supposed laziness and greed.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
For these shows, the Sussexes had turned into an easy shortcut, a quick way to joke about people getting paid for doing nothing.
Time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
It wasn't just about Netflix anymore. It was the whole awkward world of sponsored content that people imagined the couple was mixed up in.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
As harsh as the cartoons were, they were really just mirroring the original material. And most of the time, that source was Prince Harry himself. During his interview with Stephen Colbert, there was one moment that stood out. Colbert seemed to be giving Harry some real advice right there on live TV. It was a gentle message about Harry's struggles, hidden inside a simple movie quote.
He said, let us have an end to this debate about what makes a good man and be one.
There you go.
You can use that.
Good knowledge.
You can use that.
Harry's casual good knowledge reply totally misses the deeper meaning of the moment. Colbert had just given him a powerful quote about stopping all the noise and just being a good man, but it seemed to go right over Harry's head. That kind of disconnect perfectly sets up the other moment from that night. The really awkward exchange I mentioned at the very start.
That's the part. That's the part we're editing out of this interview. Boy, right there. All right.
Very similar to this experience.
This isn't some joke crafted by a comedian. It's the moment where the mask drops. A moment so awkward, so self-made, that it explains why so many jokes were aimed at them in the first place. It's not funny because someone made it. It's funny because it's real. Here's that clip.
Unlike what?
That's right. You carry on. You were doing great.
No, you're doing great.
Did you catch that? The sudden change in his eyes, that quiet but sharp dig at the whole interview? He looks seriously annoyed. Like he might just walk off the set any second. It feels like he's trying way too hard to fit in, and you can see the pressure on his face. That moment says it all. This was never really about jokes, the media, or animated parodies. It's about the non-stop confusing contradictions. In the end, this isn't just a story about two royals leaving a palace. It's a harsh modern warning about being re-lore, pretending to be who can't attack the media and chase fame at the same time. You can't talk about being a victim while living a life of clear, massive privilege. At some point, the contradictions get too big to hide. And when that happens, the public, the same people who once cheered, start laughing instead. That laughter isn't just about funny jokes. It's what it sounds like when people stop believing the story. And now, there's only one question left. After all the missteps, the public roasting, and the damage they did to themselves, can Harry and Meghan ever turn it around? Or are they now forever stuck as the punchline?